Mafia, she whispered goodbye. With a silencer as an upcoming Chinese film based on the real-life case of 1996 as the murder of Yang Jia. On September 28, 2004, the body of a young woman was found in a wooded area in Taipei City. The body showed signs of torture, and the cause of death was determined to be multiple stab wounds. At the time of her death, she had been 6 months pregnant, and the perpetrator had not only killed her, but also her unborn child. This gruesome murder shocked Taiwan, and to this day remains one of the island's most notorious crimes. The prime suspect in the case was a 33-year-old hitman named Cheng Yuan. After his arrest, he confessed to the crime and even reenacted the entire thing for the police. However, he quickly retracted his confession, claiming that it was coerced. So we still don't know exactly what happened, but here's what we do know, and how it ties into the upcoming film. The victim was a 25-year-old model and part-time nightclub hostess named Yang Jiahui, or Angela in English. Her pimp was a man named Hung Shen, who gave her the nickname Little Sister. One night in September 1996, Yang met a regular customer at the club who introduced himself as Brother Cheng, which was actually the name of the eventual prime suspect. Brother Cheng would regularly visit the club, and each time he would order a drink called opium, which was actually a code for the bar's best bottle of liquor. On the evening of September, Yang was assigned to look after Brother Cheng, and by the end of the night, they were drinking heavily together. Sometime around 3 a.m., Brother Cheng paid his bill, told Yang that he wanted to take her out for dinner, and then left the club. A security guard later recalled seeing the two of them leave together, but nobody ever saw them alive again. It's unknown exactly what happened next. But it seems that Yang got way too drunk and had no memory of what transpired after leaving the club with Brother Cheng. When she did wake up, she found herself alone, semi-naked in a strange place. She tried calling her pimp several times, but the calls went straight to voicemail. No doubt her pimp was getting messages from other hosts saying that Brother Cheng was acting weird that night. He'd ordered large amounts of opium, far more than usual, and he had stayed way longer than normal. There was something going on. Yang called her boyfriend, but she didn't tell him where she was. She just asked him to bring her some clothes so she could go home. Around noon, Yang's boyfriend arrived at a bus station near the club. But instead of finding Yang, he ran into one of her colleagues who informed him that Yang had unshown up for work all week and no one knew where she was. Worried that something was wrong, he called Yang's father. A few hours later, a taxi driver fitting Yang's description was spotted driving past a toll gate on the freeway. It was the last confirmed sighting of Yang alive. 5 days later, a hiker came across a shallow grave in a wooded area of Taohuan County. 2 weeks later, another hiker stumbled upon a spot with a foul odor in the same area that turned out to be the grave. Inside was the battered body of Yang Jiahui. An autopsy revealed that Yang had been beaten, raped, strangled, stabbed over 70 times, tortured, set on fire, and ultimately died from multiple stab wounds. She had been 6 months pregnant, and the baby was also dead. The news of Yang's murder spread like wildfire, and people began to speculate about the identity of the killer and his motive. This was right in the middle of Taiwan's gang war, and many suspected that Yang had been caught in the crossfire. Others wondered if her pimp had silenced her because she knew too much about his criminal activity. However, as the investigation progressed, the police learned that Yang had last been seen with a known triad member, Brother Cheng, so he became the prime suspect. When the police searched Brother Cheng's apartment, they found a number of incriminating items, including Yang's purse, shoes, clothes, cosmetics, and pager. They also found a bloody meat cleaver, and an examination of the murder weapon revealed that it was used to strike Yang on the head multiple times. However, Brother Cheng denied killing Yang and claimed that he had only had a physical altercation with her at the club because she had stolen money from him. Apparently, there were rumors that inside the bar that Yang was a thief. Police believed Brother Cheng's story that he got into a fight with Yang at the club and then let her go. However, they also thought that somebody else must have killed her afterwards. The problem was they couldn't find any evidence to support this theory. That is until November, when they received a tip that led them to a small wooden house in Taoyuan. When officers entered the building, they found a small plastic bag hidden behind a desk. Inside was a piece of cloth that matched the material used in the loincloth found at the crime scene. Forensic tests later confirmed that the blood on the cloth was Yang's. This meant that Brother Cheng hadn't just fought with Yang at the club. He had taken her back to his place afterward and killed her. But why? As it turned out, Brother Cheng had killed Yang because she stole money from him, according to his original confession, after their fight at the club. Yang left and later called Brother Cheng, begging him to forgive her and promising to pay him back double whatever she took. He agreed to meet her at the wooden house, but when Yang arrived, she only had $200 instead of the $4,000 she owed him. Enraged, Brother Cheng grabbed a meat cleaver and beat her to death. He then disposed of her body nearby. But as the story goes, Brother Cheng suffered from some serious buyer's remorse. He felt awful about what he did, so he led the police back to the crime scene and even reenacted the murder. But during the recreation, Brother Cheng kept messing up and doing things differently than he said he did, which caused the police to become suspicious. Soon after, he changed his story and retracted his confession, claiming that it was coerced. In December 1996, Cheng Yuan was charged with first-degree intentional homicide, second-degree intentional homicide, robbery, rape, and arson. His trial began in February 1997, but it was delayed several times because he kept changing his story. Sometimes he admitted to the crime, sometimes he denied it. In April, Cheng Yuan was declared mentally unfit to stand trial. This brings us back to the present day. While Cheng Yuan's mental state has never been called into question since then, his case has remained in the courts for nearly 30 years. Just recently, his case was reopened, and prosecutors are seeking the death penalty. Now, like I mentioned at the start of the video, there is still a lot that we don't know about this case. Even though Cheng Yuan is clearly guilty, it's unclear exactly what happened to Yang after she left the club with him. All these years later, the question remains, what exactly happened in that wooden house? How did Brother Cheng treat Yang after beating her to death? And did he kill her alone, or were there other people involved? Well, fortunately for those of us who want answers, the case will soon be made into a movie titled Mafia. She Whispered Goodbye. With a silencer, not much is known about the film yet, except that it's scheduled to be released in January 2023. We also know that the producers visited Yang's grave to pay their respects before filming began. This is one of those cases where justice appears to have been served. Cheng Yuan has been locked up ever since 1996. But what kind of monster does something like this and then expects to get away with it? I don't buy that whole mental illness excuse for a second. There's something seriously wrong with this guy. What do you think? What happened in that wooden house? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to check out my other videos. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode and want to see more, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Do you love or hate true crime stories? If you love them, stay tuned for more stories every week. But if you hate them, I understand. You can unsubscribe at any time. Thanks for watching.